Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest and say that I've thought long and hard about what this video should be, and while I did say last time that I wanted to discuss Payday 3's recent change in leadership, and I've also not covered update 10 yet, this video is actually about neither of those things, because it didn't feel quite right to release a video about update 10 or Payday 3's change of leadership this weekend, because Payday 3 turned 1 yesterday. September 21st, 2024 marks 365 days since the full release of Payday 3. Obviously, that is excluding the 3 days of early access you got if you pre-ordered a certain edition of the game. I'm talking about the full game going live for everybody. And that was 1 year ago yesterday. To celebrate, we hosted a 24-hour live stream here on the channel and over on Twitch, where we took each month worth of Payday 3 content and broke it down into 2-hour segments. That way, we got 24 hours out of the 12 months. It gave us the perfect opportunity to reflect on the last year's worth of content, the highs and the lows, but it also gave me, when putting the whole thing together, the opportunity to reflect on the last 12 months here on the channel. You see, they have been incredible, insane even, unbelievable. I would not have told you a year ago today that we'd be here where we are now. When I started making content around 5.5 years ago now, the channel had no direction. I had no goals with it. The only rule I had was one video every weekend. And obviously, if I wanted to do more, I would, but the bare minimum was one a week. Regardless of whether or not I wanted to or felt like it, regardless of whether or not I had the time, one video a week. I've got to say, deep down, I feel like even if I was to perish, there would still be a video uploaded the next weekend. That was a hard rule I set myself. When I started university, the time I was able to commit to videos reduced drastically. I managed to maintain the weekly upload schedule by bulk recording videos, which is why a few years ago on the channel, there was just Let's Play after Let's Play after Let's Play for a while. It was the most frictionless way of me maintaining that once a week upload schedule during my degree. The final year of my degree was always going to be the most intense, and to prepare for that, I bulk recorded over 1 year's worth of content. And while I'm completely self-aware enough to hold my hands up and say it wasn't exactly the best content in the world, I did have a blast doing it, and I do genuinely think some of those videos are really good, but obviously none of them saw the light of day because I made a major decision. You see, the summer of 2023 is when a little known game called Payday 3 went into beta. I was fortunate enough to get into both weeks of the open beta, and I know not everybody was able to, so I considered myself quite lucky. I made a Payday 3 video and wow, 35 whole views. I know that sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but that was incredible to me at the time. So I made another, and oh my goodness, would you look at that, it did better. Then I thought I couldn't kill the momentum, so I made a Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. And then I made another one, and they were very, very long. And I was burnt out, so I went back through my Payday 3 footage from the beta, and I found a solo stealth maskless run that I decided to do and record. At which point, I turned around and said, oh my goodness, I've hit the jackpot. I've got to make a video about this. And little did I know how big of a jackpot I hit. 1.4 thousand views, can you believe it? Can you believe it? I certainly couldn't, so I made a terribly informed crime boss video, but then I went back to making Payday 3 videos when the full game came out. As a very quick aside, at some point I should probably make a video discussing why I made that crime boss video and how I made that crime boss video, because for as terrible of a video as it is, there's actually quite a funny story behind it. If you're interested in hearing more about that, let me know in the comment section down below, and whilst you're down there, consider clicking that subscribe button. But anyway, Payday 3 was now out, and it had a terrible launch, so I made a video, and people listened. 3,000 people watched that video. So I made another one, and it didn't do as well, so I made a Call of Duty video, and then that one did awfully, so I made the worst thumbnail I've ever seen. And then when I made my next Payday 3 video, I had to make a decision alongside it. And this is the decision I was alluding to moments ago. My final year of university started to pick up, and I had virtually no time on my hands, so I was supposed to start uploading all of that pre-recorded content. But I was loving making Payday 3 videos. Despite there being a lot to criticize, I was genuinely enjoying the game and didn't really see anybody discussing it with as much optimism as I had. The partners were all rightly burnt out, especially after the backlash they all received at launch, and other than them, the conversation was very bitter. Again, justifiably so, but you know, be the change you want to see in the world. I decided that I was going to make content from the perspective of somebody who was enjoying the game and just wanted to see it get better. Of course, everybody has their limits, and I did take some time away from Payday 3, but it was only a couple of weeks before I was back, because I do genuinely enjoy the game. And with that, I had made the very difficult decision that I was going to find a way to juggle my university degree with making Payday 3 content every week. which made for a very intense few months. My degree was full on, and it was quite difficult remaining positive about a game when a significant amount of the comments were being withheld for saying some heinous things. I have in all my years never seen such vitriolic comments and just genuine human indecency. And you know what? That didn't bother me one bit, because I was loving the content I was making, and I was loving all the positive interactions I was having as well. After some more time and getting my name a little bit more out there within the Payday community, I decided to get in contact with the moderators of the community Discord to see if I could get permission to post my content in the hub video section of that Discord. And when I was actually granted permission to post in that channel, I was overjoyed. It felt like one of the biggest steps the channel had ever taken in 5 years worth of making content. And I kept going, more and more Payday 3 videos covering every blog post and every update until we started the run up to Boys in Blue. We had about 430 to 440 subscribers at the time, and I decided to say, hey, why don't we push for 500 before DLC 2 releases? And you know what? Not only did we smash 500, we actually made it all the way to 1000. I was humbled. That's really the only word I can use to describe that feeling. And it was around this point, a little bit before and a little bit after, where some of the Starbreeze partners began to recognize me in their Twitch chats, their YouTube chats, and some of them even reaching out to me directly in DMs to say that they've seen my content and like what I'm doing, which was another incredible experience, especially considering that some of those partners are creators that I've been watching for years, some of them even before I was making content myself. Then the Boys in Blue DLC released, and in the run-up to that release, I made 5 videos in 1 week. Technically 6, if you count the Boys in Blue video itself, which released 4 days after the others. And those were a very exciting 4 days indeed, as it was during that 4-day window when I was invited into the Starbreeze partner program. It took a little while to get everything sorted out, but on the 14th of July 2024, I posted a video in which I announced that I was a Starbreeze partner, and then shortly after that I jumped onto a live stream with PD Lucky and Vice. This was my first time doing a live stream in years, and my first time doing one properly, I should say. For those of you who don't know, when I first started making content for YouTube, the way in which I would record my gameplay was through streaming. I would stream directly from my console to Twitch and then download the VOD to use as footage. It was a terrible way of recording footage that led to terrible footage. But let that be a lesson to you. You do not need a fancy setup to make YouTube content. If there is anything that you take away from this video, I hope that it's that. Don't let anything stop you making the content you want to make. From the start of my channel up until very recently, I made all of my content off of a MacBook Air. And let me tell you, I tortured that poor device. So if you want to start making content, do not let your setup stop you. What my setup did stop me doing, however, was live streaming. That's why I didn't stream when playing with Lucky and Vice. Instead, they were live on their respective channels and I was just there with them. Though that all changed very recently when I finally bought my first PC. That has allowed me to start live streaming, which I now do fairly frequently on twitch.tv/SafiaBekasis. And I'm once again humbled by the support that I've seen on the recent streams. There are 4 requirements to become a Twitch affiliate, and they are reach 50 followers, stream for 8 hours, stream on 7 different days, and average 3 viewers. It only took me 2 Twitch streams to reach 50 followers, stream for 8 hours, and get an average of 3 viewers. We had an average of 15 viewers after our first 2 streams, which is insanity for somebody just starting their Twitch journey. The fact that streaming on 7 days was the last task I had to complete to become a Twitch affiliate is mind-blowing to me. And we're actually well on our way to becoming a partner. I guess we'll have to see how that 24-hour stream pans out. And that brings us full circle. We're back to talking about the 24-hour stream. I hope you enjoyed that little trip down memory lane for the channel here whilst we reflected on the last year, and the fact that we've gone from having less than 200 subscribers before Payday 3 came out to doing a 24-hour stream just a couple of hours ago is incredible. And once again, humbling. So to each and every one of you, whether this is the first video of mine you've seen or you've been here for the last 5.5 years, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.